Hey, it's Sizzling Popcorn, and in today's video, we're going to do some flight training. We're going to learn how to fly in a Cessna 152 in Microsoft Flight Simulator's Flight School. Let's get started. Here you have 8 different sessions, and it is best that you go through them one at a time rather than going from 1, 6, 3, 8, or starting from 8 and going backwards. Because number 8 is first solo navigation, fly from A to B entirely on your own. But if you don't know the basics of the controls and cameras, you won't really have success at that solo navigation. So let's start off with the first one, basic controls and cameras. Familiarize yourself with the flight environment. So this training, you'll get to know your aircraft environment. This training session will familiarize you with the basic controls, spread your wings, explore different views around the aircraft, pitch and roll the aircraft using the yoke, skew aircraft direction and yaw with the rudder, add reduced power with the throttle. Flight duration is approximately 8 minutes. And just forewarning, if you've made any changes to your control configuration, it may tell you to press a button that you might have assigned to something else or that you've unassigned. So just be aware that you might have to re-add it or add it in a different way, or just remember that, okay, when it says 12, I don't press 12, I press this instead. That kind of thing. So let's go in and fly. And what I'm doing this on is triple monitors using the Nvidia, not Shadow Play, but the Nvidia, now I forget the name of it as I'm making this video. But then you're able to move the window across all 3 screens. And it's good, it's advantageous, because then when you're flying, you're able to see on your sides without having to turn your head, or without having to turn your camera. And these load times, these are they're normal, they're long, but it's because of the power of the graphics behind this. So we are at Sedona, runway elevations 6,400 feet. Indicated airspeed is 100 kIAS, heading 199. So we'll get ready to fly. There is a button, it's on the right side of the screen, but in my case it's on my right screen that you don't see.
Welcome to flight training. I'm your instructor, Captain Molina, but you can just call me Jess. This session, we'll get started with some basic controls. Sound good?
Yes, that sounds good.
First things first, let's get familiar with your surroundings. Don't worry, I've got the stick while you get your bearings. Out your side windows, you can see we have great visibility over Sedona today. This is Red Rock territory. Beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is beautiful. Now, up, down, right, left on the keyboard. Right mouse click to further look around. And something here is, if you want to boost your seat up, press the space bar and I'll boost you up. If you want, you could then right click on your mouse and then drag the mouse down a bit so that you're sort of looking down, And then here you can do Control-Alt-1. And then that's going to save that custom camera. And so to then get back to the pilot view, pressing the 12 button. So that's the rudder on mine. But so that doesn't work in my case. But here, if I now decide to turn it over here, now I can press Alt-1.
See if you can spot the Sedona
It brings
Airport.
it back to that.
The runway should be a pretty easy
custom
landmark
view.
to find.
So here, because I've taken off the smart cam, I've actually added it to my Stream Deck.
There you go. Visual
So-
confirmation on the airport.
You'll be able to.
Now that we're oriented, it's your turn. Time to fly this bird.
You'll be able
The first
to
control on our training list
focus
is
on
the yoke.
specific things.
I still remember my first instructor saying the yoke is like a steering wheel. Almost. Sure, you can turn, but you can also pitch. For starters, it controls the ailerons. And the ailerons, they allow the plane to roll and bank into turns. Go ahead and try rolling to the right. Nice. Now let's see you level back out. Good. Of course, the yoke also controls the elevator. And the elevator affects the plane's pitch, right? Pull back on the stick, the plane starts to climb. Give it a shot. The most valuable things in aviation are speed and altitude. But notice, when you're pitching up, your speed is decreasing. You could add more power. Or for now, let's just pitch down. Just like that, your speed's picking up again as the nose pitches down. As you level back out, let's talk about another control, the rudders at your feet.
So in my case, I don't have
Rudder
rudders.
pedals control
Rudder
the
pedals.
aircraft's side-to-side movement, also known as yaw. On the ground, those pedals are going to steer the plane left or right. Up here, they properly align us during turns. Try them out and watch the plane's nose skew to either side.
I've got these maps to the Stream Deck.
Simple enough, right? Before we go on, let's bring the plane back to straight-up flight. Make sure your dashboard is aligned 3 to 4 inches below the horizon for a cruise attitude. Okay, the last thing we're going to cover now is the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. Let's see what happens when you cut all the power. Surprise, surprise, our altitude is decreasing. This might be a good time for a piloting PSA. Always keep an eye on your surroundings, because nobody likes a low-flying duck. All right, let's go ahead and throttle back up. flying the plane, I'll be here. You can pass me the controls when you're ready to finish your session, or keep flying. It is a great day after all.
Yeah, scenery here in Sedona, beautiful. And the Sedona airport's one of the handcrafted airport. So no wonder that's where they take you to the flight school. So we're going to delegate the back the controls of the aircraft.
All right, I have control. Good job.
So we did everything that was needed. So congratulations, got the check. I wish it was a real check in the mail. Be nice. So we're gonna do this next one, and then we'll finish off the video. So this next training is attitudes and instruments. So we're back again at Sedona, the flight school.
Today we're talking about attitudes of flight, how your plane is oriented relative to the horizon. If you look outside, you can see the cockpit is just about 4 inches below the horizon line. We're flying straight with a decent rate of speed. This is the cruise attitude. Let's see how it reads on your instruments.
Focus on instruments, press control 1.
Take a look at the attitude indicator. As the name implies, it shows your current attitude. The white line is the horizon, with the sky above and the ground below. That orange element in the middle, aligned with the horizon, that's your plane. Just like we saw outside, our current attitude reads pretty much straight and level. Okay, now let's see how much power the engine's generating. Check your tachometer. Looks like we're pushing around 2,300 revolutions per minute. Combined, attitude and engine RPMs translate to aircraft performance. Which leads us to your airspeed indicator. Last but not least, check your altimeter. To figure out your altitude, you always want to read the small needle first. That's how many thousands of feet up you are. Then on to the big needle for the hundreds. With our current attitude and power output, we're holding a speed of 90 knots and a stable altitude of 6,000 feet. That's about to change. Take the stick when you're ready. Pull back slightly on the yoke to raise the nose just above the horizon line. About 2 inches. Make sure you don't pitch up too much, or the angle will be too steep to create lift. And without enough lift, we'll stall. go on, let's get back to a cruise attitude. Ease up on the yoke and aim your nose just below the horizon. Then throttle back down to 2300 RPMs.
300. Okay.
Nice job. We're now set up with the same attitude and power we had at the top of our lesson. Next up is the descent attitude. Start by reducing your RPMs to 1800. Then drop the plane's nose a bit further below the horizon.
Nose further below the horizon, okay. Reduce to 1800. Back up to 2300.
There we go. Now that we know how to cruise, climb, and descend, let's talk about the turn attitude. Gently pull the yoke left or right to start rolling the plane. If you take a look outside, you can see how our attitudes changed, but you can also check your instruments for the details. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees. At the top of your attitude indicator, there's a series of notches representing 10 degrees each. Use them to control your roll. Notice the more you turn, the more you need to pull back on the yoke to maintain altitude. When you're rolling out, you'll need to do the opposite. Roll and push at the same time. The more you know about the main attitudes of flight, the closer you get to that pilot state of mind. So keep practicing, and whenever you're done, pass me the controls.
Well, that's it.
Thanks, I've got control now. Well done.
Got through it. That didn't take too long. And there you go. So that's 2 out of 8 done and complete. Let's go back. Just go back to the training menu. But that's it for this video. What I'll do is in the next video, I'll put the next 2 together for you, and then you can see. I'm not going to do all 8 of them. The last 4 I'll let you discover, but the first 4 you'll get a feel for it. That way, when it comes to Tuesday or after Tuesday, and you want to purchase the sim, great. You know that you know you're going to enjoy it. That there's something there to help you out to learn the plane. Right now, there's nothing to learn the other planes, because like for me, I've flown the 787 twice, and I've had a lot of trouble. Even though I've flown in the Boeing a couple times, I'm not a pilot in real life, nor am I a student pilot, and nor have I really played around with FSX and X-Plane 11 much. I have them both. I've put in probably maybe like 20-30 hours max into them, while some other people they've put in lots of time in. So now it's like, now that I like the graphics on this, I want to spend more time to really hone my craft with flying airplanes. And if you want to do the same thing, that's great. Okay, come check out the videos if you need any help or guidance. You might say I might need help, but yeah, just if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment sections, and I'll if I don't know the answer, I'll try and find the answer. For the other planes, other than the Cessna 152, the other Cessnas are pretty much the same. The instruments, there might be one little tweak here or there. But when it comes to like airliners, to learn those, you're gonna more so want to get the airplane manual, which you can most likely find online. I think probably down the road they might have more training in here, and if Microsoft doesn't do the additional training, someone else will bring it in. A third-party developer will bring that in. So if you're looking to learn and get, like they say in English football, get stuck in to Microsoft Flight Simulator, make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. That way you'll know when the next video comes out or when I go into live stream. So thanks a lot for watching, and have a safe flight, and we'll see you in the next video when we take a look at the takeoff and level flights and the landing. And like I said before, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I'll leave that for you to discover. And if you have questions, you can always come back and ask. And the thing is when you ask the question in the comments, I'll answer whether I have to go get the answer or not. But others might have that same question, so don't be shy. And others might actually see that, and that are more experienced, and they'll help you out. So I want this channel to be a place where you can feel welcome to ask questions and to learn, because I'm in the same boat. Like I'm not like the elitist, or like I'm not a pilot. So I'm with you trying to learn, and I'm also wanting to help you out too. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.